Imagine if cities were defined not by their buildings and architecture, but by landscape and ecology. I'm Andrew Grant. I'm a landscape architect and co-founder of Forest of Imagination.
Together with Forest of Imagination and students from Bath School of Design, we've been using Imagine If as a tool for playful design thinking and how we could bring life to the living tree year-round.
I graduated doing environmental science at Bath Spa. I think although I come at nature and wildlife from a scientific perspective, I don't think that science and the arts and creative practices have to be so separate. Having a connection to nature and like a feeling of ownership over your local natural environments is so important.
The Forest of Imagination was born out of that desire to bring a conversation into the community around imagination and creativity, well-being, and the importance of nature in our lives, as well as bringing attention to global forests, shining a light on their importance and how we can save them.
The natural world around us is absolutely key to keeping us sane and happy.
Especially in the pandemic, creativity and nature was a lifeline for me. Just the daily walk in nature and being connected to nature gave me that sense of hope and allowed my creativity to flourish, even though it was creativity in a crisis.
When I'm lost and confused and maybe need a little break from like work-related things, being outside I find to be really calming. I personally find nature as a good way of bringing creativity.
Recently went on a walk, I was listening to the water, and there was this certain way that the water was hitting that was almost quite rhythmic. So the greatest piece of art is inspired by the nature that surrounds us. And so I kind of want to revisit it with a field recorder to escape the concrete buildings and the traffic and just be with the earth for a little bit.
Nature really shifts my mood. If it's not there, I feel kind of empty. It brings me in a different dimension, like it just opens my heart and mind.
We're imaginative beings, and that's when we feel most alive. A good way to bring creativity into our lives is to use this trick of play, because when we play, we're open in a way that we're not in our daily lives.
Just day-to-day life is so stressful, but just kind of taking yourself away from that. Touching the ground, looking at the birds and breathing the air just is so grounding. It's like, this is what's real.
I think eco-anxiety is worries and uncertainties about the future and how we want our planet and our environmental sustainability to be like.
You may think it's not that big of an effect, but it actually affects me throughout the year. Many people would think that it's something that will happen in the future. It's a future anxiety, but it's actually current.
Suddenly hits a different kind of feeling and you're like, oh wow, like I need to just stop and like appreciate what's in front of me and not be like on my phone, to really feel inspired. Ideas of creativity and times where the creative flow is kind of lost in all the constructions and difficult and worries and things that we have, but really it's just quite simple.
It's not just a backdrop, it's part of our life support system. It provides our air, our oxygen, it manages our water. Imagine if we define our cities not by buildings and architecture, but by landscape and ecology and nature.